And like I said, with the joints, you grab one and you move it around. Whatever you do to one, it does the other. So it comes in handy when you want a set of objects that are going to always do the same thing to be always connected. Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Digital Power Workshop. It is I, the geometry that refuses to connect when you're just trying to build something epic, Techno Meow Tinkerer. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how to join and separate in Blender. And why would you need to know that? Well, we're going to show you. So let's log on in. Okay, as you can see here, I brought up my Metroplex because I want to show you an example of where joining became something useful. I'm going to come on down here. Oops, let's zoom out some. As you can see here, I got these hinges. If I click one, the other one is highlighted as well. And they're their own separate objects. Going to, over here in the X-ray mode, as you can see, they're on their own separate objects. They're not the same. They're not, and it's because I got them joined together. And that is helpful because if I had it parented, I have to make sure I grab the one that the objects are parented to. Much like how this is parented to the hinges. And that way when I come in, whoops, not the side I want. I zoom on in here. As you can see here, I got it thing. So when I want to hit R for rotate, and let's change the origin point to individual origins. R to rotate the object. As you can see here, they both hinges rotated. Now of course this rotated with that because it's parented. But like I said, if I had one parented to the other, I would have to remember which one is being parented to when I grab it. Because if I grab this one and I try to rotate it, and it was parented to this one, both of them wouldn't do it. So that is one instance I found. That's one of the instances that you would want to join. And let's get on in and show you how to do this. We'll just get on into new general. Nope, don't need to save you. Get rid of the light, get rid of the camera, even though I set them backwards. Now let me go to move this over so we can kind of see the origin point, and I'm going to right click and duplicate object, move you over here. And so one of the things we got to remember, and when you're joining like I did with things, you got to remember also where your origin points. Each of these objects has their origin point, and what joining does is it merges the objects together. It's like over here you see them that they're on their own individual layers, and joining them puts them basically on the same layer. But one thing you got to remember is whichever object you select last is what everything is going to be joined to. So since I select this one last, this object is going to join to this one, which will merge it to just cube 0.001, and this will be the origin point. If I select this one first and then this one last, everything's going to be moved here. So let me show you. You can hit either Control J, or for me it's just sometimes easier to right click and come up here and join. So as you see here, this one no longer has an origin point because it merged and created this origin point. So as you see here, I don't have two layers or two different cubes. And like I said, with the joints, you grab one and you move it around. Whatever you do to one, it does the other. So it comes in handy when you want a set of objects that are going to always do the same thing to be always connected without actually connecting. But there are some things you do need to connect. So I'm going here, tab in. I'm going to go ahead and select, and this is why you want to join the objects. It's just other than what I did with my hinges. Is if you want to merge, bridge, and what was the other one? There was one more. I forgot. Connects. It's basically we want to connect them two different ways. So I'm going to connect these things by bridging the face tool. I'm going to come up. I'm going to give it a couple twists. Nope, I don't want one. I want two. There we go. And I'm going to give it some loops. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and give this some color. Let's give it some color. And and there's a reason to my madness here. You can come on in to this, and let's tab on in, and I'm going to grab a few of these just to change to a different color. Let's grab one here to show something. Let's see, new. Let's make you green, blue and green. Assign. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this. Be patient with me. I'm going somewhere with this. So I'm going to actually join these two together for the next demonstration. But one of the things I'm going to do before I get into separating is I do want to show one more joining. For instance, if there's another type of join that comes in handy, and it works similar to the knife tool. And I select this vertices, or this point, and this vertices, and if I hit J, it creates a cut between the two, or a line segment. And you can kind of do it with any ones you want. So like if I want to do it there, I hit J, boom, it creates a line segment. And whatever one you want to go to, J, whoa, it created a weird one that way. I don't know if it works with the edge tool. Let's see. Okay, it kind of does in a weird way. It does it with the points, but I don't know too much if you're going to be using the edge or anything else, but it works great with the vertices. So that's one way to join. Now, since we join, we want to separate. Of course, you're going to have to be in edit mode to separate. And if you want to separate, you just hit P. That's all you have to do, hit P. And you get these options. You can either separate by selection, by materials, or by loose parts. So if I separate by loose parts, it's going to take both items and separate them into two different layers, as you see. Of course, you'll have to tab out to individually select the layers in object mode, get out of edit mode. As you can see here, they're back to being two separate layers. Now I'm going to go back into this one, tab in this one. Now if I hit P and I go separate by material, again it creates me another layer. This time it's separating it by the material or whatever color I made it. And as you can see, the green is its own layer, the blue is its own layer. And lastly, let me tab and select just this one. If I choose to say just like these two, I hit P and go by selection. It put them on their own layer, and all these are on their own individual layers. So that comes in handy if you need to separate the objects for whatever reason you need separate. I did use this during my hotspots time-lapse video, when I realized I probably didn't need it when I was making the windshields, but that's neither here nor there. But if you ever need to separate your objects, so like if you create a highly intricate object with a bunch of individual pieces that you join together in one thing, and then you decide, ooh, I need to separate them, so because I need to do something to a bunch of parts, this comes in handy. So hopefully this has been informative for some of you. Get back to my main page here. Like I said, I hope this has been informative for some of you, and if you like my content and you want to help support the channel, please like and subscribe and share this with anyone you think might find it interesting. Have a nice day.
Yeah.